ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TEW9 and welcome back to Saving the NWA, where as you can see, today we are going through night 3 and the final of the NWA Crockett Cup 2025. If you remember last episode, there was quite a bit of storyline progression as we saw EC3 try to demand his place into the main event for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Thom Latimer and Max the Impaler, which was the original scheduled match, after Max the Impaler won a number one contenders 4-way match on night 1 of the Crockett Cup. We also saw Mike Mondo and Brian Idol agree to one more match for this final night of the Crockett Cup, as well as Odinson turning his back and turning heel on Kratos, splitting up the Immortals and making them lose their semi-final of the Crockett Cup, and we'll see them two square off tonight. We also saw Kenzie Page issue an open challenge to anyone in or out of the NWA who wants to come and face her. And then finally, we have the final of the Crockett Cup between the newly formed Diamonds in the Rough and the Slimeballz. Again, there may be new champions tonight. There'll definitely be a new Crockett Cup winner crowned. So we'll see how the show unfolds. And as we can see here, in a 38 rated match, we had Baron Von Storm defeating Fallah Bahh in about 7 minutes with the Eye of the Storm. Obviously, Baron Von Storm, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and Fallah Bahh formerly of TNA or Impact Wrestling, putting on a 38, which is quite a decent match. We'll then move on to our second match of the pre-show segment in quite a good 42 rated match. We had Milk Chocolate of Brandon Watts and Randy Summers defeat the Rep of Nate Carter and Dave McCall. Both of these actually quite good teams. Nate Carter was the weak link, got 30 in-ring performance, but the rest did get relatively low to mid 40s, so these may end up coming back in the future. Again, they do look like quite strong teams. Then, if we move on to our next segment, it features Billy Corgan. This is still on the pre-show. He comes out to the ring in a segment that's only filmed for social media. He says that the NWA has recently formed 3 partnerships with companies from around the globe. These companies include Sendai Girls, All Japan Pro Wrestling, both from Japan, and Riot Wrestling from Mexico, and we'll see the fruits of this partnership tonight. We will see wrestlers from all these 3 companies on the card tonight. And if we kick off the main show, the final of the Crockett Cup 2025, 40 rated match, as All Japan Pro Wrestling's Atsuki Aoyagi defeats Carnage in about 12 minutes. Again, this is the first person to come over from All Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, quite a good performance for 38, so we may see him back again, but probably not for a little bit. It was just a 1 appearance deal. Again, he debuts his foreign star gimmick, gets rated adequate, but again, we leave the door open for him to return in the future. But again, the first match of the Crockett Cup shows off this new partnership with All Japan Pro Wrestling. We then move to EC3. He's just come out of Billy Corgan's office. He says that he has been added to the main event, but he'll also be in there with a mystery opponent from an international partner. Again, we'll have to wait and see who that is, because it could be someone very big, but we'll have to wait and see. Another 40 rated match in a 3-way dance between Natalia Markova, Tiffany Nieves and Kylie Page. Natalia Markova pins Nieves with a Samoan drop. Again, Nieves being the best 4 in the match, getting a 43, Kylie Page 29, and Tiffany Nieves a 34. Again, quite a good match, and it shows how far Natalia Markova has come in recent years. Again, she will be next in line for the NWA World Women's Championship. should Kenzie Page retain tonight. We then have a 42 rated segment as Knox and Murdoch defeat the Miserably Faithful in Salvation and Gags the Gimp for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Again, everyone got a decent in-ring performance. Surprisingly enough, Salvation being the best in the match. Mike Knox not being great. But again, he's in there with Trevor Murdoch, a ring general, and they do work together quite well. As you can see, Salvation and Gags the Gimp also show excellent chemistry when teaming together. But again, just a defense of the World Tag Team titles for Knox and Murdoch. Again, the next team that will be in line for those belts will be the winners of the Crockett Cup later in the show. But as we move on from the tag team title match, 49 rated segment, we've got Hollywood Hayley J. She's backstage. She is saying that she'll be the one to face Kenzie Page later tonight, and she demands to talk to Billy Corgan. When she tries to get into his office, however, she finds the doors locked. She finds no sign of Billy Corgan around the arena, and she's looking all over for him. She wants to see where he is. Again, he is nowhere to be found. So again, that may come into play later in different shows or later in a certain event. But at the moment, Billy Corgan is nowhere to be found after EC3 is seen coming out of office earlier in the night. We then get a 39 rated match as Mike Mondo defeats Brian Idol in about 13 minutes with a senton bomb. Once again, we've had this match on night 1, but we're playing it back on night 2. Mike Mondo getting a 40 in-ring performance, and Brian Idol getting a 30. Again, just a way to get these two on the card to keep that storyline going. And this may or may not be the end of their rivalry. We will have to see. But we then have Mike Mondo. He grabs the microphone and he demands the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. He says he'll take on anybody to get to the top, to where he belongs. So he's ready to fight anyone, whether they come from NWA, All Japan, Riot Wrestling, or even Sendai Girls if he really has to. He will fight anyone. He wants the World's Heavyweight Championship, and he'll go through anyone the NWA puts in front of him. We then go from Mike Mondo to a 6-man tag team match in which the Southern Six, Silas Mason, Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton, defeat the team of Mike Sydal, Alex Misery and Mims when Silas Mason submits Mims. This will mean that Silas Mason, as he has pinned the National Heavyweight Champion, will receive a National Heavyweight Championship match on the next show. So we've already got one match ready for the next show, which is Mims against Silas Mason. Again, we may also on that show be seeing Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton against Alex Misery and Mike Sydal for the NWA United States Tag Team Championships. But at the moment, the main story is Silas Mason against Mims for the National Heavyweight Championship on the next show. If we then move from the Southern Six over to Kratos versus Odinson in a decent match, got a 45 rating, the best match of the night so far. Odinson defeats Kratos in about 10 minutes with the F10, again proving that he is the star of the Immortals and that he was right for turning his back on Kratos. So we can now move on to bigger and better things. We then have the final of the Crockett Cup in which the Diamonds in the rough defeat the Slimeballz in about just under 8 minutes when Spencer Slade pins Tommy Rant. Again, this is the Crockett Cup final and it has been won by the brand new team of the Diamonds in the rough. Again, Jeremiah Plunkett and Spencer Slade get some decent ratings. The Slimeballz aren't quite there yet, but they are both young, so they can still improve. Unfortunately, as you can see, Spencer Slade has sustained a sprained ankle, but hopefully this won't take him out for very long. But the Diamonds in the rough, Slade and Plunkett, will be receiving a World Tag Team title shot on the next show for winning the Crockett Cup. Again, there's our confirmation that Spencer Slade sprained his ankle in the match. Let's see if he's annoyed with anyone. So, as we can see, Tommy Rand has got a bit of heat backstage following the injury to Spencer Slade, as it has come from a botched move. Hopefully they can both move past it. Again, Tommy Rand needs to keep his confidence up so he can improve, and hopefully Spencer Slade isn't out for that long, if at all. We then move on to a backstage segment. The Diamonds of the Rough are backstage with their newly won Crockett Cup. Again, they're filling it with champagne. They're getting ready to celebrate. And Simon Diamond says they're coming for Knox and Murdoch, and they're going to win the NWA World Tag Team Championships on the next show. We then have Kenzie Page. She makes her entrance. She grabs a microphone and says she's ready to face anyone the NWA has to offer. So bring them out. We then have this match between Kenzie Page and a debuting You, in which Kenzie Page defeats You in about 50 or just under 15 minutes by submission. Again, Kenzie Page making defense number 28 of the NWA World's Women's Championship. Again, Kenzie Page getting a 51 in-ring performance and You getting a 44. So You has come over from Sendai Girls. Again, just like Aoyagi earlier in the night, this is a one appearance deal, but we may be seeing more of her as well as other workers from Sendai Girls in the future. Again, it did get a 53 rating, a very good rating, probably one of the best matches we put on so far. So we can have, obviously, her back again. But then we move from Kenzie Page against You into Colby Corino. He's come down to join the commentary team for the main event. Obviously, he'd like to be in the main event, but due to him losing in the four-way on night one, he cannot be involved. But we'll see who the mystery man is that Billy Corgan, apparently, has chosen to be in the main event. And that main event is up next. So, in a 46 rated match, Max the Impaler defeats Tom Latimer, defeats Toxin, and defeats EC3 in just under 12 minutes when they submit Tom Latimer. And Max the Impaler is the new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. Again, all three, or most three workers, getting a good rating with EC3 for 46. Toxin, who is the mystery opponent, has come from Riot Wrestling. They get a 41. And Max the Impaler being the best in the match with a 52. Tom Latimer slacking behind with 31. As you can see, he is the weak link in the match. But overall, a very good match and a new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion in Max the Impaler. So in one night, we've had a new Crockett Cup winner. We have Silas Mason against Mims for the National Heavyweight Championship on the next show. And we have a new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion in Max the Impaler. So, as you can see, the NWA Crockett Cup final does get an overall rating of a 49, which is our best show so far. It does lead to an increase in popularity in 12 regions, and again, we'll see where those 12 regions are. So, we are going to praise Max the Impaler for a great performance and compliment Kenzie Page on a good performance, and hopefully, well, it should lead to a little bit of a boost in morale as they're happy with the locker room speech. Again, Maxine and Kenzie Page is pleased as well. Again, we'll have a look at the injury to Spencer Slade, see if it's that long. Hopefully it's not. Again, 7 days and it can be worked through. We don't have a show in the next 7 days, so he'll be healed, right and ready for the next show and his title match. If we look at our finances, it was quite an expensive show with all the foreign talent that did come in, but we did manage to make over $8,000 for them. Move to our popularity recap, see where we've grown in certain areas, and as we can see, certain areas of the USA we haven't actually grown them. That's probably because we've reached our limit for growth for the month, but in all of Canada and for quite a few areas where we're quite low on in the USA, we have grown by 1 popularity point. So we are doing quite well thus far. Again, there's the end of the show. So I'll see you once we get to our emails and our notifications. Right, as you can see, we'll have a look at some of the news events. Again, there's got quite a few broadcasting deals for the WWE. Again, there's quite a few shows on last night. Again, our show was quite good, as we can see. It's around. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong one. You can see again, feedback's been awesome. Small companies outshone some of the bigger companies. 656 people in the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City. Again, we'll have a look at some of our emails to see what we get, see what our viewership was, and then we'll end the episode there. As you can see, the 3 international stars that we brought in have all gone in Iwagi, Toxin, and you. And there's confirmation of Slade's injury. Again, it's only 7 days, shouldn't miss any dates. Also, we don't actually have any shows in that time. But if we look at the Crockett Cup viewership, got just a bit over 25,000 viewers. So the viewership is growing each and every show. But as for now, I will end the episode here. Again, we saw many different title changes, new Crockett Cup champions, and we set up quite a few matches for the next show. So that next show, as you can see, is going to be NWA Back to the Territories, and that is where I will see you. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment any wrestlers you may want to see in this save on the NWA shows. I'll keep them in mind and I may bring some of them in. But once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you at NWA Back to the Territories.